Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, Karnataka once again has become a talking point and perhaps a matter of a political slugfest between the ruling disposition, the Congress party, and the BJP. If on the one hand, the state is asking companies to give out a list of number of Karnataka's that are under their employ, and that's met with a lot of deep resentment and furor, even from the entrepreneurial class in Karnataka. And a lot of the companies are looking back and saying, are you going to now question merit and our ability, or are you going to enforce a certain level of regionalism on us? That's one debate. The other aspect is this entire Hindu Religious Endowments Act within the state of Karnataka. Across the country, the HRNC has been a bone of contention with why only Hindu temples are coming under state administration, state rule, and the larger aspect of free Hindu temples. But in this case, some serious allegations have been made by the BJP, which have now been countered and clarified by the Congress party, saying that the BJP is only trying to misinform, misinterpret and mislead. And with the Endowments Minister Ramalinga Reddy even laying the charge that under the BJP rule itself in the past, these collections have been made from various temples and religious institutions. There are a few amendments that have been moved and which go on to say that a certain amount of money will be collected from temples which are under the Murzai, or about 35,000 temples that come under the HRNCE across the state of Karnataka. And this amount will be connected and this will be used against certain aspects. Now, the allegation from the BJP is that this money will be used and it will be used for other religious institutions. So, temple money, Hindu money is going to be used to propagate or push other religions, other affairs. The Congress very clearly says, no, the amendments mooted in the bill very clearly say that this will be used for dharmic institutions related to Hindu temples only, to the upliftment of the archakas, building orphanages, schools, etc. And it will be used only for Hindu religious institutions, Hindu purposes. The other hand, the BJP is also alleged that there is an attempt to try and seat part of these temple boards and trusts members who are non-Hindus. The Congress has very clearly said this is misinformation. We are trying to get members of the Vishwakarma community, Valmiki community. These are the people who we are trying to bring into these trusts and give them a place and give them respect. It is the Congress that respects all faiths and is equanimous. It's the BJP that is politicizing and only playing this card of Hindutva with the intention to mislead. So this is where the entire debate is. Let's go across to America in Narayanan, Surabhi Hodigere and Dr. Anand Ranganathan, who join us on this matter. Surabhi, how would you respond to the allegations made by by Ramalinga Reddy, the HRNC minister, where he blamed the BJP for deliberately attempting to mislead, saying the BJP was the one who actually allowed these amendments, etc., and has been continuing to collect this tax, 10% from a temple that collects more than 1 crore rupees, 5% when the amount is less than 1 crore.
First and foremost, I don't believe that anybody in Karnataka doubts that the Congress government here has been, putting up these issues because they have a certain ideological bent, and there are certain people here in Karnataka as well as across India that they are catering to. Look at the issue that happened in Mandya to start with. The fact that there were some controversies here where government schools were asked not to do Saraswati Puja. Now we are not making this allegation of Hindu Virodhi merely based on one incident, but this one incident that you have brought out today, Anand, is in itself the sort of like it's a straightforward thing. The fact that temples which have more income, which have more than 1 crore income, should give 10% fund, it's an amendment that was brought in. It was not there prior to this amendment. Temples which have income of 10 lakhs to 1 crore should give 5% to the common pool. Please explain what this common pool is. How does that common pool, does it go to the Muzrai department? Does it go elsewhere? This clarification has not been given. Common pool fund should be used for needy and poor. You saw the recent Karnataka budget, Anand, where there was some significant amount of money that was allocated to the Waqf board here for their property development. This is not an allegation that the Karnataka BJP is making, not knowing the history of the Congress here. This is an allegation we are making very strongly. And I don't think that the response from the minister has been sufficient at all. It is like Kannadiga Hindus are being asked to pay jizya. This is what the unfortunate state is.
Mr. Vijendra has made that very serious allegation and accusation, but the Congress says this money is not going anywhere, but it is going back to helping archakas, it is going back to helping destitute children, and also to create orphanages, etc. around the Hindu religious temples, and also refurbishment. refurbishment and renovation of old temples who do not make that kind of money. That's where this money will be used. That's the clarification the minister has given. Surbhi
Is that what the common pool means? Is that what section 19A of the amendment that has been passed means, which says that the common pool fund can be utilized for any poor or needy organization? I'm not doubting that money has to be allocated for poor and needy organizations, but I'm asking, why can't you, if you are so clear that it is going to go back to the welfare of the temple and temple communities, why does it need to go back into the common pool? The Karnataka state government currently has been has been showing us that these tricks and treacheries with numbers is what has been our failing. No, we do not accept that. If it is truly going back to Archakas, give us a proper plan of action. It is not, that is not seen, Anand.
And then don't call it a common pool. Say it will be called a temple HRNC pool for temple-related institutions or Hindu-related institutions only. Now let America and Narayananji respond, and then I'll come back to you. Yes, America.
I agree with it. I think, as I know it, in Tamil Nadu Hindu Religious Board, the fund, anybody who is having any kind of work in the HRNCE first have to declare that they are Hindu. Non-Hindus cannot be there. I think that's the same thing in Karnataka from whatever you have told. Second thing is, the funds cannot be used for anything other than the Hindu thing. And I think that's what the opposition and we the people need to make sure that the money that is set aside is only used for that. Now, the minister has, and I don't know what has happened, but I understand this amendment has been made, and the minister has just made the amendment. If he gives you the assurance, it is a job of all the people, including Congress and BJP, to make sure they keep their word. And I don't doubt it when they have given an assurance and it has to be under law. And they can't say, as you rightfully pointed out, a common pool under the Hindu Religious Board can also be said. I don't see why can't that be said, because the fund is from the temples.
But that's where the
as
problem
far as
is.
the second question,
What he said on social media and what the law says, that's the allegation. That what the amendment, the way it is worded, section 19A, and what the minister has said on social media as clarification are in variance. There it only says common pool for the needy and poor. On social media, the underlying aspect or the clarification is that no, it is only for Hindu institutions and temples. But the law doesn't word it like that. That's where
I think the law can be amended, and I think it's a fair thing to ask for the law to be amended, where it has to say that for the Hindu temples, money has to be spent for Hindus. There's nothing wrong about it. Jayalalitha gave a lot of annadanam, and that was very welcomed, and nobody goes hungry in Tamil Nadu. So these kind of things, temple has funds and it should be used for Hindus and the welfare of the Hindus.
Dr. Ranganathan, in the past, the courts, the Karnataka High Courts themselves have struck down amendments saying these are cosmetic. They have struck them down as discriminatory and violative of constitutional rights. And this has happened in 2011, 2012, these acts that was done on November 29, 2015. In the past, the courts have said that these acts themselves should be done away with. But again, government after government comes back with these amendments, trying to window dress them and push them again.
Couple of points here. Number one, the very fact, Anand, that we are having this surreal conversation about how much of the Hindu temples is legally sanctioned by the state to control exposes this fact. Once and for all, I hope people would realize this, that we are not a secular country. So please, we kind of tom this, India is a secular country. Secularism means complete separation of religion and state. Out here, the very fact that we are discussing about the extent to which the government can control Hindu places of worship, leave alone that it's exclusive. The government is controlling religious places of worship. How can it be secular? So point number one. Point number two, again, it is profoundly bizarre, and my good friend Surabhi is there, and she knows she's a very good friend of mine. But it seems pot calling the kettle black when the BJP is castigating the Congress government or accusing it of tinkering with the control that every state government has had on Hindu temples in Karnataka. I mean, if the BJP was so angry at the way Hindu temples are being controlled, why did it not do away with the act? When it was in power just a couple of years ago, for 5 years, it also controlled 35,000 temples. It also leased billions from them. It also controlled how much of the temple land could be put on rent, thereby incurring massive losses going into lakhs of crores of Hindu temples. I mean, the activist T.R. Ramesh, who you also know very well,
Yes.
said, at least confining just to Tamil Nadu, that the temple land that should be actually making 6,000 crores, because the rent is sent by the government, is making 58 crores, not even 1%. Same is the story in every state where have you, these boards that so BJP is as much guilty. The question now out here is that somebody needs to have some clarity, and I hope, Anand, you would by tomorrow, because I looked at the Amendment Act, and unfortunately it was in Kannadiga, so I could not understand. But somebody needs to say, was that fact that the Congress minister is alleging that 10% of the funds that are collected by a temple that earns more than 1 crore is going to go? He is claiming that was always there. The BJP government also was making use of it. If that is the case, then this is a non-issue. Then both BJP and the Congress needs to be castigated. However, if these amendments are new and the Congress minister is lying, then of course this is outrageous.
Surabhi Hodigere, the fact is that in November 2015, the courts had struck down similar amendments. And even in the past, now this is the allegation made by Mr. Ramalinga Reddy also, that 1 crore plus 10% will be taxed is something which will be is something which was there even under the BJP rule. Now these amendments have been brought back, brought in 2011, 2012, it was struck down in 2015, in the past even before that.
Yes.
And the other point that Dr. Ranganathan makes is that if the BJP is so pro-Hindutva, pro-temples, pro-freedom of temples, and money of temples should be used only by the temples, then why did it facilitate government control?
No, absolutely. I think Anand sir has made a very rational point, and I think the previous Chief Minister from the BJP, Mr. Bommai, had started working towards this to free Hindu temples from government control. There was an announcement in 2022. I'm not going to justify that we have yet to do it, but it was on the BJP Karnataka manifesto, and it is definitely something that is on our mind. Having said that, Anand, this allegation that this tax was also there during the BJP rule, look, I'm going to be very pragmatic about it. Any tax that comes to government, finally, it's a difficult thing to let go of. But at the same time, having said that, the taxation, parts that the amounts that had been there prior were from 25 lakh, the grade A of income, 25 lakh was taxed at 10%. Anything above 25 lakh was taxed at 10%, and between 5 lakh and 25 lakh was taxed at 5%. Now compare that to the 1 crore limit that this government has amended. There is a significant difference. You might say that it was done previously as well, but this amendment, when we are trying to work before, we have been trying to undo this. This is the sort of amendment that they have brought in. The second thing is, this clarification that the minister has given with regards to that common pool is something that I would really want to further understand. Yes, it was mentioned in the previous, before the amendment, that money will go towards in the Muzrai department, their salaries, the betterment of the temple communities, etc. But that has not been clarified. This amendment takes it away. That is what we are very, very concerned about. And I want to bring out another point, Anand, which is also in this very same act, is that the amendment says that Section 25 mandates that management committee of the institution will include members from other religions as well. Now, Anand sir made this point about secularism, right? This is something that we have to really, really reckon with at this point in time. What gives the state this right to mandate or decide who is going to be making institutional decisions for a Hindu community? This is going backwards from what the BJP in Karnataka has been pushing for, asking for, and rallying community for. Yes, we are all for freeing Hindu temples from government control, and there are very, very rich debates that happen in civil society, which Anand sir is also a part of, and the ways to do that. But the Congress government has taken us 2 steps back by making all of this.
No, in this case, the clarification by the Congress party is that, and the minister himself, is the fact that it is going to be somebody from the Vishwakarma community. So the amendment says somebody from the Vishwakarma community. It does not say other religions.
Yeah.
It does not say other religions.
That's why, Anand, I wanted to see the exact words that are used in the amendment that was passed on the floor of the assembly, because that's very important. The rest of the media is saying what Surabhi ji is saying about other religion. The rest of the media is saying that this 10% for 1 crore has been brought in for the first time. But as far as what Surabhi ji has commented, that BJP was also functioning by leeching money off the temples, although the clause was 25 lakhs. The British have a wonderful phrase for it, and it's called 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Surabhi Odikere, I know you read Kannada. Mohan Gowda has put out the amendment, and he's put it out, the bill actually, the text on this on X. So if you can read that, then I think you can clarify. If you can read Kannada, and you can clarify it very clearly, because the 2 pages that he has put out, and that's something that Mr. T.R. Ramesh has also highlighted, saying that if this is happening, we'll take it to court, and it is highly unconstitutional. But the fact is that even under the BJP, this tax was not done away with. 5 years of the BJP, you didn't do away with it. See, that's the aspect. You are wanting to collect this tax, and you're wanting to tax temples only. Why didn't the BJP say it will extend to all religious institutions?
Correct.
If they wanted to collect tax, they should collect it from all religious institutions. Otherwise, say no religious institution will be taxed.
No. May I just clarify because I have the bill text in front of me. It is in Kannada, yes, and very clearly, Section 25, Part 4 very clearly says, Parantu ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಧರ್ಮಗಳಿಂದ ಇರೋರು ಸದಸ್ಯರನ್ನು ನೇಮಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟಿಂಗ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಹೈಲೈಟೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಧರ್ಮಗಳು, ಅದರ್ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ organization.
So Section 25 clearly says Bere Dharmagalu. That means other faith.
I don't know where this conversation on Vishwakarma community came. Like, what is the rationale behind it? I'm not against any community or any caste being part of, but that is a decision to be made by the temple and by the community. Have we decided that, like,
no, and is that parallel? Is that equal to all other faith also? So will churches come under Endowment Act? There are churches, if there are churches making more than 25 lakhs, will they be taxed 5%? If there are mosques, and if there are other religious institutions, non-Hindu institutions, will they be taxed? America Narayanan, why only Hindu temple?
Well, I think you're trying to take a word out of my mouth.
I'm asking you, sir.
I'll answer that. I think it's a valid question. All I am trying to tell you, there are Waqf board that they are under the control of the government or government appointees, just like in Hindu religious board. But having said that, I think you cannot take the money from any community, whether Hindu, Christian or Muslim, and spend it on another community when it comes from the temple or mosque or churches. As simple as that. And it would not be the law of the land.
Will the Waqf board allow America and Narayanan to sit on the Waqf board?
That's why I said, I don't think, as I know it, Tamil Nadu Hindu Religious Board makes sure only Hindus can be there. And I think anything other than that, the court will object to it. And I think the opposition during the election are trying to capitalize and misinterpret it. That's the way I see it today. But
this bill has been
let it come out well, and then it can be discussed and discussed.
By the Congress party. This bill has been passed by the Congress party in Karnataka in the state assembly. Now she's reading the Kannada text. If you have 19A, you can read.
I'm sorry, I don't understand Kannada, but before I came on this, I was told we are discussing about the language and the minority issues of Kannada, but that's beyond the point. I think, as far as I know, it is wrong to take, and I can not only know, I can say it is wrong to take money from any religion and spend it on another religion. And it is wrong to have people of other religion manage, like Hindu religion people managing Waqf board or churches, and the same way vice versa.
Is it wrong, America, is it wrong to only control Hindu places of worship and not control Muslim or Christian places of worship? Is it wrong?
Waqf board, as I understand it, is controlled by the government, by the government appointees.
The money that is earned, the churches, is it wrong to not control churches?
There is a problem. I think we should look into that. As a matter of fact, recently one of the father has said that British, I think it is organizedly controlled by church of, certain churches board have been controlled. British have brought in that law. It's time to look at that law.
Yeah, and not just that,
I think
America is
everything,
another
see, basically, I want the government control on temples because from generation, we the people should be able to question. If it is privatized and few people in the villages, for example, like the panchayats in happening in what do they call in Haryana and I think Kap Panchayat, people can railroad the local people. So it's good to have the government regulate, but they should not get involved in the agamas, but they should oversee and make sure things are done. Also, over generations, that things are not swindled.
No,
because
but should that
nobody
apply
can
only to
answer that.
temples? Should that apply only to? Are they not?
I already said it should be applied to every religious thing. I think it should be applied to every religious thing. I said that.
The other thing, America, the Karnataka government recently announced huge amounts of money and doles to Christian institutions and Muslim institutions. But with respect to Hindu institutions, they want the rich temples to fund and to pay the money to a common pool rather than a Hindu pool. And they should take the upkeep, and the state will not lend any money and will not lend any support.
Well, now, I don't know whether that's...
So, is that secular or discriminatory, or is that pulling up a majority?
First thing is, it is the same question asked by the southern states. Why are you giving all the money to Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and things? We talk about social justice. The communities and castes which are better off has to give in to the other communities. So is the religion. Now, it has to go to the poor, and I hope they do that. And I don't think they are taking Hindu money or temple's money and giving it there. If they do that, that's wrong.
I'd like to say here that, this entire debate is supposed to, what I am sensing, Anand, and what the Bharatiya Janata Party is also sensing, is that the Congress government here in Karnataka has been doing these anti-Hindu sort of activities also as a diversionary tactic to see against the state's performance here. Siddaramaiah government has taken a loan debt of more than 1 lakh crore, which is something that has never happened before in the state. There is a complete violation of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. All of this to divert. If you have seen, there have been 2-3 issues like this. They have gone against Kuempu's verse in schools. They have said that the Nadagite, our Nadagite, should not be played in or is not compulsory in specific schools. All of this has been happening as a diversionary tactic and then they accuse us of not paying heed to certain important issues. This is the the strategy that the Congress government is using. While I'm not able to really pull up the Kannada text, I do have the English understanding from a very reputed lawyer who has clearly said that the Section 19A states that the common pool fund can be utilized to any poor and needy organization. Let's be on this debate and I'll pull up the Kannada text. Give me 2 minutes.
So the moment you say common pool fund, that means anybody and everybody can use this. This common pool can be segregated to anybody and everybody. Final word, Dr. Ranganathan. Should that word common pool be then amended and challenged in court and say that it should be used and it should be impressively mentioned that any collection, anything that's being done till the time the HRNC Act itself in place should be used only for Hindu Dharmic institutions and for Hindu Dharmic or related orphanages, schools, etc.
No, absolutely. As I already said, Anand, I am against the government collecting any money from the Hindu temple, per se. But if they are collecting money, and I'm very glad that America and Surbeji also agree, that if they are collecting money from the Hindu temples, that money should only and only go for Hindu causes. So that I am very certain of, but I don't want them to take any money from the Hindu temple.
Okay. We will leave it for now and we'll get for more clarifications. The government itself is saying that the interpretation is misleading and the interpretation is nefarious by the BJP. The BJP is saying that the wording of the text itself and read the fine print because that's where the alarm bell should start ringing. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our panelists.